Stop to think how unique we really are. In the eyes of many in the world, this every 4-year ceremony we accept as normal is nothing less than a miracle. Mr. President, I want our fellow citizens to know how much you did to carry on this tradition. By your gracious cooperation in the transition process, you have shown a watching world that we are a united people pledged to maintaining a political system which guarantees individual liberty to a greater degree than any other. And I thank you and your people for all your help in maintaining the continuity which is the bulwark of our republic. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe that society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for, by, and of the people. Well, if no one among us is capable of governing himself, then who among us has the capacity to govern someone else? So as we begin, let us take inventory. We are a nation that has a government, not the other way around. And this makes us special among the nations of the earth. Our government has no power except that granted it by the people. It is time to check and reverse the growth of government, which shows signs of having grown beyond the consent of the governed. It is my intention to curb the size and influence of the federal establishment and to demand recognition of the distinction between the powers granted to the federal government and those reserved to the states or to the people. All of us need to be reminded that the federal government did not create the states. The states created the federal government. Now, so there will be no misunderstanding, it's not my intention to do away with government. It is rather to make it work with us, not over us, to stand by our side, not ride on our back. Government can and must provide opportunity, not smother it, foster productivity, not stifle it. If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. It is no coincidence that our present troubles parallel and are proportionate to the intervention and intrusion in our lives that result from unnecessary and excessive growth of government. It is time for us to realize that we're too great a nation to limit ourselves to small dreams. We're not, as some would have us believe, doomed to an inevitable decline. I do not believe in a fate that will fall on us no matter what we do. I do believe in a fate that will fall on us if we do nothing. So with all the creative energy at our command, let us begin an era of national renewal. Let us renew our determination, our courage, and our strength. And let us renew our faith and our hope. We have every right to dream heroic dreams. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. On the eve of our struggle for independence, a man who might have been one of the greatest among the founding fathers, Dr. Joseph Warren, president of the Massachusetts Congress, said to his fellow Americans, Our country is in danger, but not to be despaired of. On you depend the fortunes of America. You are to decide the important question upon which rests the happiness and the liberty of millions yet unborn. Act worthy of yourselves. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. Our forbearance should never be misunderstood. Our reluctance for conflict should not be misjudged as a failure of will. When action is required to preserve our national security, we will act. We will maintain sufficient strength to prevail if need be, knowing that if we do so, we have the best chance of never having to use that strength. Above all, we must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. Beyond those monuments to heroism is the Potomac River, and on the far shore, the sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David. They add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, "My Pledge," he had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone." The crisis we're facing today does not require of us the kind of sacrifice that Martin Treptow and so many thousands of others were called upon to make. It does require, however, our best effort and our willingness to believe in ourselves and to believe in our capacity to perform great deeds, to believe that together we can and will resolve the problems which now confront us. And after all, why shouldn't we believe that? We are Americans.
All right. Hey, everybody. Like I said, but I forgot my mic was muted. Stupid me. Today is July 8th, 2018. It is a Sunday. We are without Ed at the moment. He has not been in contact with anybody I know of for about a day. He has not been active on Facebook for a day. Yesterday he was having trouble breathing. He was coughing really bad. Health issues, basically. And the show's not going to be able to go without him and he hasn't shown up, so he's probably in the hospital at the moment getting taken care of. At least that is the scenario I'm hoping for. Or, well, the worst case scenario is, nah, I'm not going to even mention that one. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody's got information on Ed, please share it. If not, just give well wishes or whatever, and then we can get the show over, and everybody can go on their day. And hopefully, next week, next Saturday, hopefully we will have a show with Ed again, because he's got a lot of information that we need to learn, and he has brought a lot of us together in knowing the difference between lawful and legal. And for me personally, he's helped me protect my children and my wife, my bloodline. He's helped me. He didn't do it for me. He helped me because I did most of it. So I'm going to open up the floor and see if anybody's got any information.
All participants are unmuted.
Yeah, I don't have any information other than when I talked to him yesterday, and he could barely talk. But I'm concerned that somebody needs to go and check on him in case if he's in the hospital. That's great. I mean, it ain't great, but it's better than thinking of him suffering in his house. I don't know what's going on there. That's I'm surprised that if he went to the hospital, he didn't call you up and let you know, like.
Yeah, he normally would have, unless if it was something that was so dire that he didn't have time, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know enough of his connections over there, people over there that can go over there and check on him. But if somebody has insight on how to contact a few people close by to check on him, some individual or individuals, I think that'd be a great idea to see if he's okay, or maybe he needs to go to the hospital.
Yeah, good possibility. And so if nobody's got any extra information, I guess we'll call it a night. I really hope he's okay.
Yes.
He's put his body through a lot of stuff throughout his lifetime, and like he says, he's got his neck was broken. He's got metal in his neck. There's a lot of physical problems that he deals with, and he just keeps pushing through. So, and hopefully it's nothing more than at the hospital they're draining out his lungs or something, because he does get fluid buildup in his lungs at times. So,
question.
yes.
Has anybody called any hospitals around his area?
Usually with the hospitals, because of patient confidentiality, you try to without actually claiming to be a family member. They won't give you any information.
Well, they have to. I think they have to tell you if he's in the hospital. Because I did this to a guy. I did this to a guy in Louisiana. They told me, they said, yes, he is in the hospital, and they sent me gave me his room number. Now, I don't know about where you're at, but I know they did that in Louisiana.
Well,
They had me right through to his phone in the room.
Well, in Oregon, Oregon may be a lot more of a free-thinking state more of the time, but they got a major stick up their butt, and they will stick to certain codes and everything like crazy because they don't want to get in trouble.
It's worth a phone call.
It is worth a phone call. Now I just got to figure out which hospitals are there. So I will do what I can, and anybody else who wants to try, go ahead. And
another thing that you might want to do. Do you know what a wellness check is?
wellness check, basically sending police over to making sure that the person is okay.
Yeah, that's what you call the police. Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
if
had
the
to do that as a guy in Louisiana too.
if the police step foot on Ed's property without his permission, he will shoot. If he's okay enough to shoot. They don't go near his property anymore at all. Plus, I mean, do we really want to send bullies and terrorizers to go see if he's okay?
Well,
I mean, that's
I
just
had
my
to do
opinion.
that last year because I didn't hear from somebody for 5 days. Thank God the only problem we had was that the phone lines were down.
Mm.
That's why I couldn't get through to him.
Yes, boy, I hear you. So does everybody else. All right. Well,
So
I'll let I'll shut the show down, and I'll try to find a hospital close to him and see what we
May
can
I?
do. Oh, go ahead, Milton.
May I? Does he have a family member that is halfway close to Ed?
Only family member I know that deals with him is his brother. Problem is, I don't know his brother.
Okay. Well,
I was thinking of that too. Usually his
okay.
brother will drive down, pick him up, take him to the hospital because, as Ed has explained, ambulances in Oregon, at least, they don't have to give out the reason why you died in the ambulance because, well, that's saving their butts. So ambulances can be nothing more than a meat wagon. He doesn't trust them, and neither do I, actually. So, all right, well, I'll shut the show down, and thanks everybody for showing up. Sorry it wasn't a big brain-busting information show. Hopefully next Saturday it will be. And as Ed would say, may the Great Spirit protect you and Mother Earth guide you. Or something to that effect.
just hope he's all right.
Have a good night, everybody, and everybody send out your best wishes or prayers or whatever you do to make sure that Ed's okay if you can.